Learning is a fundamental part of life. We are constantly bombarded with new information. Whether we are students, professionals, or simply navigating daily life, our ability to learn effectively is crucial. Mastering new skills and retaining information is essential for growth and success. However, many people rely on ineffective learning methods. These methods may seem easy, but they often lead to frustration and limited retention. This is where understanding the science of effective learning becomes invaluable. Effective learning techniques are not just for students, they are for anyone who wants to improve their skills and knowledge. By understanding how our brains learn best, we can optimize our study habits and unlock our full learning potential. The key is to adopt strategies that align with the way our brains naturally encode and store information. These strategies enhance our ability to acquire, retain, and apply knowledge in meaningful ways. In today's fast-paced world, time is a precious commodity. Effective learning techniques empower us to make the most of our study time. By adopting these evidence-based strategies, we can learn more efficiently and retain information for longer durations. This translates into a greater return on our investment of time and effort. From improving our performance at work to pursuing new passions, the benefits of effective learning extend to all aspects of our lives. By embracing these techniques, we equip ourselves with the tools for continuous learning and growth. This continuous learning opens up a world of possibilities and allows us to reach our full potential. Let's consider a study conducted on surgical residents learning to suture. This study provides compelling evidence for the power of spaced repetition. In this study, one group of residents crammed their practice into a single day. The other group spaced out their practice over 4 weeks. The results were striking. The group who spaced out their practice performed significantly better a month later. This highlights a key principle: spacing out learning sessions over time leads to better long-term retention than cramming. Cramming might lead to short-term recall, but it is not an effective strategy for long-term learning. Spaced repetition is based on the idea that we forget information over time. By revisiting the material at increasing intervals, we interrupt the forgetting process and strengthen the memory trace. This technique takes advantage of our brain's natural forgetting curve. The principle of spaced repetition can be applied to various learning materials, from vocabulary words to historical facts. By reviewing the information at spaced intervals, we force our brains to retrieve the information from long-term memory, making it more likely to stick. Active recall is another powerful technique for improving memory. It involves actively retrieving information from memory rather than passively rereading it. This active retrieval process strengthens the neural pathways associated with the information, making it more accessible in the future. One effective way to implement active recall is through self-testing. Flashcards, practice questions, and even simply trying to recall information from memory without looking at the answers can significantly improve retention. The act of retrieving information, even if we struggle to recall it correctly, strengthens the memory trace. Interleaving is a technique that involves mixing different subjects or topics while studying. Instead of focusing on one subject for an extended period, interleaving encourages switching between different topics. This might seem counterintuitive, but it forces the brain to retrieve information from different contexts, enhancing understanding and retention. For example, instead of studying all the concepts from one chapter and then moving on to the next, try mixing practice problems from different chapters. This approach helps to highlight the connections between different concepts and improves your ability to apply knowledge flexibly. To understand why these techniques work, it's helpful to understand how memories are formed. Our brains have two main memory systems: short-term memory and long-term memory. Short-term memory is like a mental scratch pad, holding small amounts of information for a short time. Long-term memory, on the other hand, has a much larger capacity and can store information for much longer periods. When we first encounter new information, it enters our short-term memory. If we don't make an effort to encode that information into long-term memory, it will quickly fade away. Effective learning techniques like spaced repetition, active recall, and interleaving help to push information from short-term memory into long-term memory. The key to encoding information into long-term memory is to make it meaningful and connect it to existing knowledge. When we actively engage with information, relate it to our own experiences, and practice retrieving it, we create stronger neural connections that solidify the memory. To further enhance your understanding of these powerful learning strategies, I encourage you to explore the wealth of resources available online and in libraries. By applying these evidence-based techniques, you can unlock your learning potential and achieve your educational and professional goals.